Hi, I'm Stacy Francis of Francis Financial, and I am here to answer many questions that you might all have about the news that broke this weekend. Silicon Valley Bank out in the West Coast, they typically are lenders to Silicon Valley startups. Silvergate focuses more so on the cryptocurrency industry. Both of them have collapsed. Now, the good news is that you probably were not affected, but closer to home, you may have been. News just broke yesterday that Signature Bank has shuttered its doors this last weekend. The New York Department of Finance has taken possession of the bank. Signature is what's considered a mid-sized bank. They have about $89 billion of deposits. Now, that was as of December 31st, 2022. Most of the people who are depositors of Signature Bank are based here in New York City or on the East Coast. So, what does this mean? Will you get your money back? And might there be more bank failures? Well, the good news is that the FDIC just announced that depositors will be repaid 100 cents on the dollar for all of their cash in these banks. Let me say that again. Anyone who has their money in these banks will be repaid fully. Now, regulators have also said that the banks, rather than taxpayers, are going to bear the cost of this federal backstop to protect these deposits. Now, could there be more banks? There could be. So, why is this happening? There's a few reasons. The major reason is the current Federal Reserve's very aggressive program to increase interest rates. How does this impact banks? Well, banks own long-term bonds that are paying them low interest rates. The interest that banks are getting on these longer-term bonds is actually lower than the interest rate that they're offering depositors on the savings accounts at their banks. So essentially, less money is coming into the banks than they are paying out on these accounts. A second headwind is that despite these high interest rates on savings accounts, banks are seeing money flow out the door. Why? Because some people are taking their money from these deposits and putting them in even higher yielding investments, such as treasuries. So, as a result, many banks are seeing larger than normal withdrawals from the cash depositors who are looking essentially to create and make more money. All of this is creating stress. So, what about Charles Schwab, which holds our money? Well, we are very assured that you are in a safe position. In fact, Piper Sandler analyst Richard Repetto came out yesterday saying that Schwab's remaining retail bank accounts, the risk is far different and it's very low. In fact, he says there's no cause for concern. Many analysts have backed this up. That, however, if you're have cash in another bank, whether it's a Capital One, a Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, if your bank is impacted, the FDIC is expected to repay you 100 cents on the dollar for all of your deposits, just as they're doing right now with Silicon Valley, Silvergate, as well as Signature. Now, a few terms that you might want to know is what an insured deposit amount is. So an insured deposit amount is insured by the FDIC up to $250,000 per depositor, per insured bank for each account in an ownership category. When I'm talking about ownership categories, if you have a savings account in your name only, that is up to $250,000. If you have a joint account in your name and someone else's, that also is insured up to $250,000. Uninsured deposit amounts, when you read that in the news, that is the amount above 250,000. And what I want to again stress is that, as I mentioned before, both the insured deposits up to $250,000 and the uninsured deposits over $250,000 will be repaid. In fact, the FDIC says that the Insured deposits will be paid as of today, and uninsured will be paid over at the longest amount of time, the next week or so. So if you have any questions, please do reach out to me and our fantastic team here at Francis Financial. You can reach us via email, and my email is Stacy, S-T-A-C-Y, at francisfinancial.com, or you can call the office at 212-374-9008. We're here to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.